Hello folks, the Y Guy here again. Happy New Year! This is my first video of the year 2020. Now, 2021, goodness. I won't be posting this until probably a week later, because I'm trying to do a series in order of the various names and words, you know, that portray a devil kind of character of my research that I've done over the years. The name of this video is called The Y Guy Introduces. Oh, one of those names obviously is called the Prince of the Power of the Air. That's assumed by most within Christendom. That's referring to some kind of a devil. I'm going to prove the exact opposite of who the Prince of the Power of the Air is. It's the exact opposite of the devil. Boy, have we been lied to. Sometimes I get so disgusted. I hate being lied to. Anyway, the name of this video is called The Y Guy Introduces the Prince of the Power of the Air. You know, like I said, this video is a continuing discussion of all the names, titles, and descriptions that have been assigned to a devil persona. And so my list is unbiased, folks. It is, because I didn't collaborate with all the religions who believe in such a deity, entity, whatever, but only focus on what has been portrayed. I'm only focusing on what has been portrayed within the some Christian Bibles. Did you catch that word, some? That's what troubles me, because in doing so, the problem I'm having is dealing with the inconsistency within the various versions of the Bible when describing a devil-type character, okay? So in my last few videos, I offered a possible explanation for words and terms such as Lucifer, Satan, devil, the serpent, accuser, adversary, morning star, enemy, murderer, god of this world, liar, and father of lies, angel of light, and power of darkness. You know, if you want to go to my channel and check those out, that's what I've covered thus far. So today I'm going to pick up on it with the Prince of the Power of the Air. And so due to the Latin-based Bibles, far too many within Christendom have actually made the devil out to be some kind of a prince. Okay, and all because of just one little Latin perverted passage in Ephesians 2:2 that reads, obviously from a Latin-based Bible, it reads, "Wherein in time past you walked according to the course of this world." Ooh, we know that this world is evil. So, that's setting us up, okay? "According to the prince," there it is, "of the power of the air." And then it says, "the spirit." Ooh, that's a key word, because immediately you combine prince and spirit, and then air, and how bad this world is. You see, I know how it works, because I used to believe this stuff. All right? Anyway, the Prince of the Power of the Air, the Spirit with the small s, that now works in children of disobedience. Obviously, since this world is so evil, apparently, and we've got this prince character that's flying around in the air, okay, which is still taken as a metaphor, even by most Christians. Let me continue. The Latin translators took the words. This is where the word prince came from. Okay, they took the words out of the Greek text that say right and privilege, and they changed it to the word prince. And a prince represents the devil. Since when does the devil have a right and a privilege to do anything? But let's just leave that hanging, okay? Once again, they personalized it. They took two words that has nothing to do with personalizing anything or describing anyone. I mean, it could describe powers that be, yes, but they made it into one individual in the verse. And now, so let's look at some more what I consider perversions, okay? Christians just assume that the word prince is referring to a devil. Of course. I did. And since the phrase works in the children of disobedience, since that was used in the passage, then it must mean that the devil is causing disobedience. That's a conclusion that's being jumped to when the verse doesn't even say that. In reality, this passage from the Koine Greek rendering is stating the exact opposite of what has been portrayed in these Latin-based Bibles and what preachers have been spewing for years. First, the word prince doesn't even exist in the Greek rendering, and second, the phrase power of the air is nothing more than a metaphoric way, which most Christians would agree that it has to be a metaphor, to describe the unseen energy that affects the atmosphere around us. And I'm going to prove it. So have you ever been in a room with people and someone walks in with a bad attitude? I've been the one who's carried a bad attitude, so I definitely know what that's like. Anyway, it's like a cloud is hanging over their head. The opposite is also true. Have you ever had somebody walk into the room and their smile just lightens up the whole room? I've experienced that too from people, other people. So in context to Ephesians 2:2, this is an allegory to what and whom the unseen power energy is affecting. And in context, it's affecting those who are in disobedience. So it's assumed again that it's some power of some devil that's causing people to be disobedient, and that's what the effect is. Their disobedience. You see? It doesn't say that. It doesn't even come close to saying that. But that's how I was taught, and that's how I understood it. The power is meant to affect the children of disobedience, yes. But they're not being influenced by the power of some kind of devil, as Christians have been taught. But instead, all who are disobedient are being, get this, affected by the power and authority of the Spirit of God. That's what it's saying. You'll see. That's love in action, folks. Do you see why I said this passage is saying the exact opposite of what the ancient Latin church wrote and what we're being taught? So rather than it being the power of a devil flying through the air, like I previously said, this passage in Ephesians 2:2 is great news. It's such good news because it speaks of how the Spirit of God has the right and the privilege to employ a directive, and that key word directive is in the Greek Bible, to continually work within people who are disobedient. That's what's happening to all of us all the time, every day. And this whole concept is backed up by that verse. I don't have the address right in front of me that says, "For it is God," or one could say, "It is the Spirit of God who works within us, both to will and to act according to His good purposes." Do you see? That's just another way of saying that. So anyway, do you see why I said this passage is saying the exact opposite of what the ancient Latin church wrote and what we're being taught? Let me see. Ancient Latin church and what we're being taught. The devil is the one has the power, the authority, the right, and the privilege. Versus the Spirit of God has the power and the authority and the right and privilege to work within the disobedient people. Do you see what I mean by the opposite? Anyway, now let's go ahead and let's read it from the Greek. Let's see what this passage says. See if it doesn't make sense what I'm saying right now. If it doesn't completely make sense. Quote, it says, "Within the midst of and in union with which things ye once walked about in accord with the age of this ordered system, the time period of this world of culture, religion, and government, in line with the primary directive of the right and privilege of air." And it continues by saying, the breath effect. Whenever you read the word breath effect in Koine Greek, by the way, it's a capital B on breath effect. It's referring to the Spirit of God. And it confirms it later on in the verse. Of the one, this is one of the confirmations, the one is capitalized, of the one at the present time continuously operating within the sons of disobedience. Remember, for it is God who works within us both to will and to do. Oh, but does that only apply to Christians? For God only works within Christians. Really? Anyway, where was I? Anyway, now progressively working in the one, God's Spirit, it says in parentheses, now progressively working internally in union with people, not just Christians, having the character and qualities of incompliance. People who rebel, okay? In other words, All of us. All the time. All right? So anyway, in closing, here's a modern Y Guy parody of Ephesians 2:2. You were once, remember, this is a parody. I'm not quoting this from a Bible. This came from yours truly, all right? Quote, no, I shouldn't say quote. I'm speaking it myself. You were once in agreement and in unity with the Christian religious system of our day, but in accordance with the primary directive of the power that is all around us. You can't tell me that the Spirit of God isn't all around us all the time, okay? The effect of the Holy Spirit in this present time will continue to operate within those that are just not getting it yet. There, that's a Y Guy parody. So in my opinion, to jump to a conclusion by using a verse that speaks of the power of the air or the power of darkness, and then applying it to describe a devil, it would be like me using that passage that tells me how Jesus expressed love and respect towards Mary Magdalene, and then use that verse that I read about how he did that, and use it as a reason to promote prostitution. That wouldn't be contextually acceptable, now would it? And again, applying the devil to this stuff is not contextually acceptable. And that's why I'm coming against this crap that we've been taught. Anyway, I pulled this video out of my book, my latest book called No Love, No Fear. Okay, notice the opposite of how the no is spelled. And that poor fellow there, right there, trying to make up his mind which direction to go. And here's the back cover and the picture of moi. I also, and the reason, by the way, the reason I'm even sharing these books like this on these videos, if you guys don't get too tired of it, you who have already subscribed, because I get new subscribers on a regular basis, and they may not even know that I've ever written anything, okay? So that's why I do this from time to time. I don't do it on every video, but I do it from time to time. My second book that I got published was called Is God Bipolar? And here's the back cover. Okay. And the very first book that I wrote that got this whole thing started, this whole thing going, I had so much fun writing this book. Man, it was hard though. Okay, it was titled In Defense of God's Love. And look at that picture. Isn't that a cool picture? I think that's Shanghai. I believe it's somewhere in China. No, I know it's somewhere in China. I just don't know which city. And here's the back cover, which is so cool. There's that guy down there with that lightsaber looking up at that opening. Anyway, I just love this kind of stuff. It's just fun. Anyway, look me up on Facebook under a group called the Y Guy Group. And I changed it to a public group. But you can't comment and it can't be involved unless you answer 3 questions and actually join the group. Okay? So at least you can check it out. I also have an avatar name of John Anthony Jones. I meant to type Jonathan, but I misspelled it because that's not my name. Anyway, you can check me out there first too. Consider giving me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I was told by the people who understand these things, who understand thumbs. Anyway, I was told that it makes a difference. It helps people. The more thumbs helps more people find the video. I don't know how that works. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So anyway, consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I do. Happy New Year, folks. Okay? And unfortunately, it'll be a week from now, but it'll be Happy New Year then as well. Thank you for viewing.